forms in which you can write the equation. Two of which you know already, at least if you were with me. What are the two forms that we already know? Sure, we already know vertex form. So we know vertex form, which actually coincidentally that looks like. Okay, and we also know standard form, which is not currently here on the screen, but it's the ax squared plus bx plus c. The third form you know already, but we haven't really used it for functions. We used it more just for quadratic expressions, and that's what here they call intercept form. But you also might see this written as factored form. You might want to write that down, and you'll recognize it when you see it. So, of the 3 days this week that we're doing lessons, all the lessons revolve around changing from one form to another. Now, today the one common theme is that every form is we're gonna end up in standard form. What's the big difference between those two? Vertex and intercept form have parentheses, standard does not. So what's the big lesson we're gonna do today? We're gonna simplify. That's all you really have to know how to do is remove the parentheses, and you'll be in standard form. If you want to take it, I don't even think this would help you, but if you want to think of it another way, if you were with me before, what were the three key values we would identify in vertex form? A, H, and K. We learned to identify H and K. And we're going to learn how to take that and turn it into what were the three key values for standard form. A, B, and C. All right. All we're really going to do is simplify. So here I want to get rid of the parentheses. Okay. According to order of operations, I know you see this negative out here and you go, must distribute, but no, can't. Because according to PEMDAS, exponent comes first. So you actually don't have to do this, but most of you guys, I'll show you a shortcut if you want. But what you're probably going to understand best the first time around is keep the negative and change that squared into multiplication. When you square a number, what are you doing? Multiplying? By itself. So change this to x minus 5 times x minus 5. What you definitely cannot do is distribute the exponent. You guys say, oh, well, why don't I just distribute the square and just square both of those? Well, really you can't. Now there's a shortcut that I can show you that kind of allows you to do that, but really you're not supposed to. So now if I wanted to simplify this, what would I do next? What do you call it? What do you call it when you multiply two parentheses times each other? FOIL, good. So keep the negative. Now we're going to merge these into one parentheses. Okay, and we'll go, and yes, you need the parentheses. Sometimes you can get away without it if A is 1, but if not, you need the parentheses. So x squared minus 5x minus 5x plus 25. All I did was I FOILed. Minus 8. But before that minus 8 can join the party, you have to just, well, actually, there's a couple things you can do. You can first combine like terms. So negative 5x minus 5x is negative 10x. What happens if I distribute a negative 1? What happens if you multiply any number times negative 1? Say again? Very good, the signs change. We get negative x squared plus 10x minus 25, and then this minus 8. Who hasn't had a chance to join the party, but now it will. Negative x squared plus 10, the only like terms here left are negative 25 and negative 8, which ends up giving me negative 33. So if I were to ask you at the end, what's a, what would you say?
Negative x squared.
Well, no, just the number in front, which is negative 1. And that's the same a I had at the beginning. The a's don't change when you go from vertex to standard. But now when I ask you what's b, what would b end up being? B would be 10, and what is c? 33. So that way will always work. Well, when you take Algebra 2, you'll learn something called binomial theorem. Okay, where you do something called binomial expansion, and this is the very beginnings of binomial expansion. Is you can do a shortcut. You can get, what does binomial mean? Two terms. Binomial means two terms, and it's how can I get two terms out of a parentheses when it's being taken to an exponent. Now in Algebra 2, you get into third power, fourth power, fifth power, sixth power. But somebody in Algebra 1 should realistically know how to be able to do that in one step. I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility to show you a shortcut. So instead of doing this first one again, let me just do the second one with a shortcut. Now, if you wanted to do the second one the long way, what would I have to do first? If I were to treat the second one the same way I did the first one, what would I do first?
Get rid of parentheses.
Well, how? I'm still going to get rid of parentheses, but how?
Like do this x minus 3 in parentheses.
Change the exponent to multiplication, right? X minus 2. Don't write this down, though. I'm not going to do it this way. And then keep the minus 2. If I wanted to do number 2 the same way I did number 1, that's what I would do. But let me show you a shortcut. Now, on this one here, I could actually get away with not writing the parentheses because there's an A, the A is 1 in front, but I don't feel confident in your abilities to not make that mistake or differentiate when you have to or when you don't. So I'm going to just put the parentheses just to be safe. I can always get rid of them here. So here's the shortcut, right? And the nice thing about the shortcut is it lets you actually do what a lot of you are inclined to do, which is to distribute. Like, the thing is, you're not allowed to distribute an exponent over subtraction. When there's subtraction in the middle, you're not allowed to. But this shortcut kind of lets you do it. What's x squared? It's just x squared. What's negative 3 squared? Positive 9. Tiara, are you with me? Hang in there. Good learning going on here. But if you're going to use that shortcut and distribute it, you have to leave a little bit of a space in the middle. So I'm going to put plus 9, and I'm going to leave some space in the middle. You can go ahead and write the minus 2 if I want. The reason why you leave the space in the middle is because when you expand a binomial, you need 3 terms. When you take it to the second power, I have 2 terms, but I'm missing 1. That term goes in the middle. In the middle will always be 2, always 2, times each of these. So like, well, an easy way to do it, what is x times negative 3? Negative 3x, but then also times 2. What's negative 3x times 2? Negative 6x. So I show this shortcut to people. Some people like it, some people don't. If you don't like it, do it the long way. If you do like it, do it that way. Watch, I can even show you how that would work on the first one. If I wanted to do the first one this way, right? What's x squared? What's x squared? X squared. What's negative 5 squared? Positive 25, because negative times negative is positive. Then times each other. X times negative 5 is negative 5x, but then always times 2. Times 2 is negative. So that just gives you a shortcut to get from here down to there. I'll do it whichever way you want. Now that I have the shortcut here, this is the reason why I could get away without the parentheses. What's in front?
1.
A 1, so I can just rewrite it 1 times anything is itself. And then 9 minus 2 is I have now written these two parabolas in standard form. Why don't you guys do number 3? Raise your hand when you got it. Yeah, man. Always. Write it in standard form. Let me know when you got it. Andy, you already have it. You got it in the car? What'd you get?
Y equals x squared minus
You got it? What'd you get? What'd you get?
2x minus x squared. I mean x squared.
Do you guys want to do the shortcut or you want to do the long way? The shortcut? Okay, so if you use a shortcut, you would write y equals, what's x squared? It's just x squared. I would keep the parentheses though. Because yeah, here you can actually get, when a is 1, you can get away without the parentheses. But like, look at the next one, number 4 that we're going to do. There's a number outside there. The a is not 1. You have to keep the parentheses there. So x squared. Okay, then in the middle, okay, you can't forget this. What is x times negative 4? But then times 2 is
8x.
Yeah. So negative 8x. You have to have that. And then if you have that, Nakai, what's negative 4 squared? Positive 16. That's what goes in the parentheses because that's this part. That negative 8 needs to drop out in front. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 16, because anything times 1 is itself, minus 8. And finally, 16 minus 8 is just should have ended up with. See if you can do number 4. Finish it already?
Yeah.
Exponent comes first. Okay, let's do this one together. That -4 that's out in front, you can't use it yet. Order of operations says you have to do the exponent first. So whether you choose to do the exponent the long way, like I showed you first, and then FOIL, you can. Does anybody, do you want me to do that? I'll do one this way if you want. Anybody want me to do it the long way? But then I'm just going to do the shortcut, which is then to square x minus 2. X squared is x squared. -2 squared is +4. But I need the term in the middle. So x times -2 is -2x, but then you always got to double it. So it'll be -4x. And then according to order of operations, I have to do multiplication. I have to multiply by -4 before I can subtract 6. I got to finish getting rid of the parentheses. So that gives me -4x squared plus 16x minus 16. If I then drop down the -6 and combine that, you get -4x squared plus 16x minus 22. Anybody get anything different? If you're going to say something, say it now. Shobi? Yeah. So, it is positive.
On that.
Because -16 minus 6 is -22.
I know, yeah, but I see it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you got something different and you're still confused and you don't know what you did wrong, then say something. All right, and then let's do number 5, and then we'll leave it at that for this page. I don't think number 6 doesn't really bring anything out of the ordinary. Let's just do number 5. See if you can do that one on your own. Ooh, the arrow, nice. So let's see, let's do this one together. If you don't mind the shortcut, I still can't do anything with the 2, whether you take a shortcut or not. So this will be x squared plus 6x plus 9. Take a second, look at your paper. That doesn't have to be if you did it the long way, that wouldn't be the first line on your paper, but everybody at some point needs to get to looking exactly like that. If you don't know how I got that, let me know now. But we can figure out by doing it the long way how you got that, or why you should get that. Everybody should have that on their paper. Then once you have that, Martha, we distribute 2x squared plus 12x plus 18. The -3 just drops. And then one piece celebrates because we got 2x squared plus 12x plus 2. Standard form. We're ending up in standard form. Okay. All right. Well, on the second page, this is the form that you have the least. You have a little bit of exposure to this. We never really use this for graphing. And this is what they call intercept form, but what did I tell you we can also call it? Factored form. Now, see, the reason why they call this intercept form is because if I were to get the y and make it equal to 0, which this is what you have seen. You didn't see it with the y, but you've seen it this way. This would reveal something about the graph. Why do you think they call it intercept form? What do you think, if I were to solve this, what do you think it would reveal? The x-intercepts. Very good. We're solving for x. This would reveal where this crosses the x-axis. If I were to say, oh, x minus, don't write this down. If I were to say x minus 2 and x plus 6 equals 0, this graph is going to touch the x-axis, this parabola is going to touch it at 2 and at negative 6. If I were to graph it, it would look like something like that. A is positive, it's positive out in front, so it's facing up. It would look something like that. But that's not what we're working on today. We're not working on finding x-intercepts. We're working on converting to standard form. So all I need to do is remove the parentheses. And you can argue that that's going to be easier here, because here I don't need to know what to do with an exponent. How am I going to get rid of these parentheses? Just FOIL, yeah. So this would be y is equal to x squared plus 6x minus 2x plus 6. Combine like terms. I'll do one more for you, because now this one does have an a. That's different. Now, see, technically here, because this is all multiplication, if I wanted to distribute the 2 first, I could. I just can't do it to both parentheses. I personally still like to leave it to the end. So as you saw with the ones that we did before, I still like to leave that there. But because a is not 1, I need the parentheses. And then I would just follow like normal. X squared plus 7x minus 3x minus 21. Combine like terms. Plus 4x minus 21. And then distribute at the end. It's just a personal preference. I prefer to leave the distribution to the end, but you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
You got a positive 6.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Thank you. Sometimes I bring in candy, and when I bring in candy, you catch my mistakes. I give out candy. Thank you. Sorry about that. I made a mistake multiplying. Negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. That's my fault. If you wrote it down, please go back and fix that. I made a mistake on the first one. Too fast. So again, just like the first 5 that we did, we're just getting rid of the parentheses. That's all we're doing. It's just part of it. You can argue it's a little bit easier to get rid of these parentheses. Okay, so if you're fine with that, then do number 9 on your own. Raise your hand when you got it. Did you get it, Kai? Yeah. Just don't forget the white. Okay, so if you want to distribute the negative at the beginning, you can. But I'm just telling you, my personal preference, I like to leave distribution to the end. So I would just tell you to leave the negative, and then okay, this becomes x squared plus 4x plus 10x plus 40. All I'm doing there is foiling. Like if you look on Anne's paper, she chose to distribute now. And that's fine. You can do that. If you want to distribute before you combine, you can. I just like to combine first. So that would be 14x plus plus 40, and then what happens if I multiply any number times a negative? Times a negative 1, what happens? The signs change. So it just becomes negative x squared minus 14x minus 4. To the next one. Whose class were you in before you? Okay, so if you did it the way I recommend, you would leave the 2 alone, and then when you FOIL, you would get x squared. What's 1 times x? Which is just x, plus 4x plus 4. So now when I went and looked at Ingrid's paper, she did the same thing Ann did, which is she chose to distribute now. And that's fine, as long as you do it correctly, it's fine. If you want to distribute the 2 now, you can. I just like to combine like terms first. That's just a preference. It's not because it's better or anything. And then now I'll distribute, and I get 2x squared plus 10x plus 8. The last 2 are pretty quick because it's just, instead of having to multiply twice, like on these that I just finished doing, I had to, well, actually on all 4 of these, I had to FOIL and then distribute at some point, plus some combining. These will be a lot quicker. Like we can just do these together. Here I only have to distribute once. What's x times x? X squared. What's x times negative 4? Negative 4x. There's no more parentheses. There's no more like terms, so this is standard form. But then, okay, for some reason, if they were to ask you, here, what's A, what would you say? 1. What's B? Negative 4. What's C? 0. Good. So this function would pass through the origin because the y-intercept is 0. Now the last one, I wish I had candy. This would be a good candy question. If you want to FOIL, you could. There's nothing wrong with FOIL, you get the right answer. But how can I get this much more quickly? If you were in my class, you should definitely know this. No factor. This is already factored form of anything. Remember, intercept form is like factored form. What do you call 2 binomials where the only difference is the sign in the middle? Say it again. Conjugates. And what happens when you multiply conjugates? What's the shortcut for multiplying conjugates? It starts with difference, ends with squares, and has an of in the middle. Yeah, it's called the difference of squares. So if you wanted to FOIL, you could. Worksheet, and want to go back, I posted, I will be posting this on YouTube, so you can just go on this the example. This is the last one already. Difference of squares. What does the word difference mean in math? Subtraction. What's x times x?
X squared.
X squared. What's 1 times 1? 1. Wait, but I don't get it. How'd you get that? It's a shortcut. Anytime you multiply x, 1, 1. And if you're multiplying the same 2 terms, but the only difference is the sign that's in the middle, 1 is minus and 1 is plus, those are called conjugates. Anytime you multiply conjugates, you get a difference of squares. If those would have been 5s instead of 1s, then you'd have x squared minus 25. Because 5 times 5 is 25. And then just for fun, not because you need this, but just for fun, and to show you that this is standard form, if you were to be asked for A, what would A be? 1, what would B be? And what would C be? So for the rest of class, here's what I want to do. And I'm even going to leave this on the recording, so you could go back and watch this. Normally, I would have a lab cart in here, but the carts are being used for testing. Now, tomorrow we will have a lab cart in here, but we will be testing. If you finish early and you need some more help on this stuff, that's fine, but I want to give you a head start on being able to work on your assignment. So I'm normally against this, but if you have a phone and you wish to do this, I'm going to take you through the steps for getting an account for each of the sites. If you were with me last term, you shouldn't need to sign up for Khan Academy, but you will need to sign up for Delta Math, which it looks like that's your first assignment, the one that's due by this weekend. As I was showing you earlier on the e-class page, if you look at the assignments, that's one of the benefits of doing digital assignments, is that you don't have to be here in person to turn it in. So if I separate my assignments by week, and I think other teachers do also, I would think, hey, I'm going to collect it at the end of the week, and the end of the week is normally a Friday. But since you don't have to be here, I can give you the weekend. So like this first assignment is due by Sunday at 11:59. If you don't have a device that you could use, I do have a computer that whoever first come first serve, you can get on this computer here, and I have a tablet that's connected to the internet. So does anybody want to use the computer to get the account? Nobody wants to use it? Well, if you have a phone, you can use your phone. Anybody want to use my tablet? Sam, you got it. You don't have a Delta Math account. Okay, so the first thing I need you to do is go find my e-class page. If anybody's just shy, but you want to, the tablet's still here. You can use it if you want it. Go to my e-class page and click on where it says Delta Math. Okay, then go to create account on the top right. You want this? Okay. Let me make sure this kid's signed out. Sign in there, and then go to my e-class page, and then click on Delta Math. Now, when you click on create account and you click on student, the first thing it's going to ask you is for a teacher code. So I put that teacher code on the e-class page. It's this one here, 534264. Then after that, everything is going to be yours. Like you just put in your information. It's going to ask you for what email address you want to use. And I'm kind of curious how the assignment's going to look. I don't know. I've never used this site before. It's going to be a learning experience for me too. Is it going to be a learning experience for you as well? I know you have a phone, but I just saw it. So why don't you get registered if you don't have this yet? We're getting an account for Delta. Yeah, mine is the one that says ERC. Algebra I is. Click on Delta Math. Okay, Now you're gonna have to, on the top right, okay, put a create account. And that's my teacher code. 534264. Yep. I'm having you do this one first because that's what the first assignment is on. It's on this platform. Please feel free to go tonight and look through it. See how the assignment is going to be called week 1 homework. Make sure also that you put the correct 5th period, because if not, it'll show you my other period assignments if you put the wrong period. You don't want to do the wrong assignment. 534264. You already got signed on? 534264. Zoom in on this. There you go. 534264. Yeah, put whatever email you're going to use to sign in. No, that's something different. This is for filling out for the syllabus. What I'm having you do now is for your new assignments. They're going to be on these 2 sites, but right now I'm having you do an account for this. So click Delta Math. Okay, then go to create account student and put that code. And then for the rest of it, then put your email address and your other information. So if, I don't know. Does anybody have it open? I'm kind of curious to see what it looks like. I don't even know how. You remember finding the assignment? Yeah. Make sure when you do the assignment that it says week 1 algebra 1, because then we're able to see. I'm going back to where the other was. Okay, good. That's all you can see. That's why I just want to make sure that you can see the other classes. And I'm going to give you class time on Friday to work on it. And you have all the rest of the week. That's cool. Okay, yes? Huh? If you haven't done that, or if you haven't done the syllabus receipt form thing, I'm giving you to the end till Friday. So probably like tomorrow maybe or the next day, I'll already start putting the A's in for the people that did it. But if not, yeah, I have probably like 100 or something students, and as of this morning, I only have like 36 people that filled that out. I'm talking about, huh? No, it sends it to me automatically. Like once you fill it out at the end and hit submit, then I can see that you did it. I'm talking about this part right here, the syllabus thing. Get that done as soon as possible. Okay, then for the Khan Academy, if you were with me last term, you don't need to do this. But if you weren't with me, watch. Go to your regular Gwinnett sign-in page. This is mine. It's the employee one, but yours is somewhat similar. Kind of looks a little bit like this. And then if you're looking at the full website, it'll be in the column in the middle. If not, you might have to hit additional. You need to click what's called G Suite for Education. You did it already? Sure. Oh, but that's a different thing. This is not Khan Academy. This is Khan Academy. The one you did before is Delta Man. Okay. We'll find out. So once you click G Suite for Education, then you go back to my page. Leave it open. It's going to open up your Google Drive. Okay, click G Suite for Education. You have to do that every single time. Then go back to my page and click Khan Academy Login. After that, you're going to click Continue with Google. Take a while to guess what the G in G Suite stands for. It does stand for Google. Okay. Then, once you get into Khan Academy, which I can now go to 5th period and refresh this. And if you're not listed here, you're not in my class yet, so maybe. Yeah. So these people are already in my class. Okay, but if not, then you just have to do 2 things, and these 2 things you only have to do once. One of them is click on your name when you get here. Click on your name and go to Profile. And when you edit your profile, put last name, comma, first name. First, G Suite for Education, Khan Academy login on my page, continue with Google. This is all going to be on the video tonight also. Last name, comma, first name. And then the last thing that you need to do is go to coaches and put in my coach code so that I can follow you. Here where it says join a class, my coach code for Khan Academy is up here, 5th period, DQW9SV. Your assignment isn't on the site this week, but for when we do get an assignment on there, you already have it down. Remember also, if you finish early tomorrow with the pre-test, I can help you with this stuff also, just if you wanted to get a head start on the assignments. Let me see if anybody else signed up. DQW9SV.
No, like what was your front name?
Oh, last name, comma, first name. All right, 1 new person signed up. That's good. Ingrid? Who's Ingrid? Nice. You just got to change your name to last name, comma, first name.